Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for today's yoga session. My name is Colleen. I am with Shine On Yoga. The dogs are over here. You can see Fritz. Chai's running around in here also, so you'll see her. But yeah, today I have a full yoga class for you. If any of the poses don't work for you, just know that you can modify them. Please listen to your body, especially since I am not there with you. If you'd like to grab some props, blocks, bolsters, blankets, all of those are great. If you don't have any of those things, don't worry about it. You don't necessarily need them. We are going to start out today in a nice, comfortable, cross-legged seat. If you'd like to sit up on a blanket or a bolster or a pillow, feel free to. Otherwise, we're going to take a moment just to sit and to breathe. Take a nice long inhale. Big exhale. Let's go ahead and do another one. And you can exhale out the mouth or the nose, whatever feels good to you. So just let go of the day, relax your shoulders, your jaw, your forehead, anything that you might be tensing or holding any resistance in or tension, just let that go, let it relax. And while we are preparing for our practice, I do want to read the card that I pulled for today's class, and it is Cow Spirit. The miracles are endless. And this cow on the picture is wearing a nice little flower crown, so it's perfect for our summer. But its message is, Cow Spirit asks you to pay attention to how you nourish your mind, body, and spirit, because right now you are wobbling around like a newborn calf on its unsteady legs. Perhaps you've been spending too much time distracting yourself on the internet, or obsessing over a relationship, or choosing to eat foods that are not healthy. All of those can be difficult. Whatever it is, you're being nudged to assess how you are looking after your needs. Remember, the universe has a way of reflecting back to you events and conditions that match how you treat yourself. Cow Spirit reminds you that the universe wants to give you the very best, but needs you to do your part to participate and nourish your well-being. Heed her message and everything will shift in your favor. So if you're here with me, you're already doing that. You're already shifting that and taking care of yourself. So that should be commended. All right, let's take a few more big inhales and exhales, and then we'll get going. Let's go ahead and take one more together. Nice big inhale, hold at the top. And then when you're ready, let it go. If your eyes are closed, you can blink them open. We are going to get moving, so we're going to start by warming up the spine. I have Chai Cat here. We're going to move into a little cat cow. If you know cat cow, you can take it away. If you are new to the practice, then we're just going to set up in a nice tabletop position, knees underneath hip points, hands underneath your shoulders, neck nice and long. So one straight line from the tip of your crown to the tail. And when you're ready, on an inhale, we are going to drop our lower ribs down, lift our chest, lift our tail. You're going to feel a nice stretch through your chest. This is cow pose. And on your exhale, we're going to reverse that. Round through the spine, tuck the tail, tuck the head, press away from your mat. Imagine a black Halloween cat just arching its back, or maybe Chai Cat here, hissing at Fritz. Drop your head, let it go. Inhale, back to cow. Exhale, cat. Let's go ahead and do one more round together. And then after our cat pose, we're going to go ahead and return back to our nice tabletop position. So go ahead and return to that nice flat back. When you're ready, look down at your hands. So they should be right below your shoulders. We're going to walk them one handprint in front of where they were. So it's going to be a little angled out. We'll go ahead and tuck the toes under, take a nice big inhale. And then on your exhale, we're going to lift those knees up off the mat, straighten through the legs. We're in our first downward facing dog. If you'd like to walk your dog, you can, just bending one knee and then the other. Or you can just bring it to stillness. Let those heels grow heavy. It's okay if they don't touch the mat. Press away from the mat with your palms. If you have any kind of tenderness in your wrist, really press into your thumb, pointer, and middle finger to take some of that pressure out. Make sure you're breathing here. Let your head and neck go. You can even shake it if you'd like. We'll take one more big inhale and exhale here. So if you are walking your dog, go ahead and bring that to stillness. On your next inhale, look forward at your hands. We're going to make our way up to the top of the mat. You can get there however you'd like. If you'd like to take big steps, you can. I like to take little steps. And then once you're at the top of your mat, slight bend in your knees. On an inhale, we're going to come up halfway. Keep a nice flat back. Your hands can be on your shins. And then exhale, let it go. Forward fold. If this is not a position that feels good to you, you can always use blocks to bring yourself up, or you can grab whatever you have around the house that will help. Bring the floor up to you. Alternatively, you can also bend your knees as generously as you need to. So you can have them a lot straighter or a lot more bent. Just make sure you're not locking out the knees if you are going into a straighter position. Let's take one more big inhale here. And then on our exhale, we're going to slowly roll it all the way up to standing. Go ahead and loop your shoulders up, back, and down. I'm going to turn to the side of my mat so I can see everyone here instead of looking that way. And then once you get here, we're going to move into a mountain pose. But before we do that, I want to take a moment to ground. There's a lot of shit going on. Emotions are everywhere. There's just lots of shit. Let's ground and take a moment to bring that anxiety down a little bit. It's hot out in a lot of places. People are angry. So what we can do to ground, you can do this outside too. You want to make sure you don't have shoes on. We can do that in here. Really, you can do it anywhere. Outside, on the ground, without shoes is best, but take what we can get. So we have Chai Cat here. She's over here on a blanket. But imagine a cat or Chai Cat when they're making biscuits. They kind of knead with their hands, right? And they take their fingers and they, I'm not squeezing a titty. Inappropriate. All right, anyway, whew, we'll let that go. Anyway, we're gonna do the same thing with our feet. So as you lift up, you probably have been watching me do this. I just do it automatically. But what you can do is lift up one foot and then the other. And as you are putting that foot down, I'm going to slow it down. Ooh, working on balance too. We're going to put the foot down, heel, and then just roll through the entire foot. That way you're really feeling the foot. And my toes are up. It might take a while I've been doing this a long time, so my toes are pretty flexible. But if your toes aren't flexible, do the best you can, but try and keep them up. And then as you set your foot down, try and put each individual toe down one at a time. And as you're doing that, really feel the mat. Grip the mat with your toes. It might help if you do it with your hands too. But just do that a few times until you really feel the ground underneath you. You want that foot to earth connection. And then once you feel like you have that, we'll bring it to stillness. Go ahead, set your feet We'll loop the shoulders up, back, and down. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Imagine you're squeezing a pencil in between those shoulder blades. Hands down at your side, thumbs forward, pinkies back, head and neck. Everything's going to be lined up in one straight line. And we're going to breathe. Just take a moment to really feel the ground, to feel the earth, and to breathe. I don't know if it's hot where you guys are. It's been pretty hot all week here with the start of summer that really kicks things off here, and there's a lot of violence this weekend. Unfortunately, that tends to happen every time it heats up. So having these practices, being able to take a moment to step away to breathe is great, because then your emotions aren't also being heightened. All right, let's take one more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. On our next inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, all the way up. And then from here, we're going to take our right hand, go ahead and bring it around the left wrist. We're still going to stand up nice and straight and tall, so nice big inhale here. And then on your exhale, we're going to cross that midline, come over towards the right. You're going to feel a nice big stretch on this left side body, really opening up the rib cage, the hip. Make sure to keep your chest spiraling towards the sky. We don't want to collapse. And we're just going to breathe here for a moment. Only go as far as it feels really good to you. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll return to center. Let those hands fall down, maybe give them a shake. Make any adjustments you need. We're going to come back to that mountain pose. And on our next inhale, we'll reach up towards the sky again. Nice big inhale. This time we'll do the opposite hand. So I'm going to grab my right wrist with my left hand. Take a nice inhale here. And then on the exhale, we'll cross over our midline, leaning towards our left, feeling a nice big stretch in the right side body. Again, make sure you're not collapsing your chest. Chest nice and open towards the sky. Breathe here. And one thing to note as we do these things from one side to the other, you may see a difference. They may not be exactly the same, and that's okay. Just take a note of it. Doing things unilaterally helps to strengthen that weaker side, because your stronger side isn't taking over for it. So if you do have a weaker side, just take note and then maybe train that side separate for a little bit until you can get some more strength in it. All right, inhale, we'll reach back up. Exhale, let those hands go. I'm going to go back up to the top of my mat because we're going to make our way back down a little bit and start to flow. So we'll come to the top of our mat in mountain. Inhale, go ahead and reach for the sky. Exhale, slight bend in the knees. Shift your hips back. We're going to bring our chest forward as we swan dive back down to our mat. Inhale, we'll come up halfway, nice flat back. And then exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Take a moment here to breathe. All right, after your next breath, make sure your hands are planted firmly in the mat. Make sure your right foot is planted firmly in the mat. And when you're ready, we're going to step our left leg back. Go ahead and lower onto that left knee. You can keep your toes tucked or untucked. Yogi's choice. Now we're going into a little bit of a low lunge, or we are going into a low lunge here. So make sure your foundation is set up for success. So we want to make sure our knee isn't coming over our ankle. You want a nice 90-degree angle here. So make any adjustments you need to with your feet. And then your hands can be on the mat as we're in this, but just make sure your torso is lifted up. Again, you can also use blocks here, or you can come up a little bit higher and just rest your hands on your thigh. So find the position that works best for you in this low lunge. We'll take a breath here, or a few breaths. Pull that right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. And if your toes are not tucked, let's go ahead and tuck them. We're going to engage the core here a little bit. Go ahead and lift that knee up off the mat. And when you're ready, we're going to rise up and come into a high lunge. Again, adjust your stance if you need to. If you're in this high lunge, look down. You should be able to see your big right toe. If you can't, move that right knee to the outer edge of that right of your mat. You can also bend that left leg to get your center behind you and then straighten it. Hands can be on the hips, or you can reach them up towards the sky for a nice big high lunge here. If this is not in your body, stay in the low lunge. Let's take a few moments here to breathe. I was just talking to give everyone some time to get into this. One more big inhale. Then exhale, we'll float our fingers down. Go ahead and find the mat with your hands, and we'll step the right foot back to meet the left, coming into our first plank. Now in plank, make sure you're really pressing back through the heels, one line from head to tail. Really be strong in this. You can also come down to your knees if this is not for you. And we'll just breathe here. We won't be here long. One more big inhale. And then exhale. Let's lower all the way down to the belly. You can release the feet. Let the tops of your feet touch the mat. Release the forehead. Take a breath here. And if your hands are not already underneath your shoulders or in line with those shoulders, go ahead and bring them in alignment. If your elbows are stretching out and away, go ahead and tuck them to the sides. In nice and close, like little grasshopper legs. And on an inhale, we're going to slowly rise up, just looking forward. Cat hair in my face. And we'll breathe. So little baby cobra here just to start and warm up. One more big inhale, and then exhale, we'll lower it back down. All right, when you're ready, let's go ahead and bring it up to all fours. Tuck the toes once again, take a breath. And then on your exhale, we'll lift our hips up and back, coming back into our downward facing dog. Take a moment here to breathe. All right, we have side two. So when you're ready, plant that right foot into the mat. On an inhale, we'll lift those left toes up. Keep them in line with the hips. So you don't need to shoot your leg clear up here or anything like that. Just nice in line with the hips, toes dialed down, not out to the side or any other way. Just straight down here. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to bend that knee into our chest. We're going to shift forward into kind of a one-legged plank here. And then we'll step our left foot in between our hands. Go ahead and come down onto that right knee for our low lunge. So go ahead, make sure your foundation is set up to be safe, and then find your position. And we'll take a moment here to breathe. When you're ready, if you're going to come into high lunge with me, we'll tuck those right toes under, lift that right knee up off the mat. When you're ready, engage that core, and we'll rise up into our high lunge. Whoops. Make any adjustments you need to. You can see that I have to. Hands can be on the hips, or you can reach them up towards the sky. Take a breath here. or a few breaths. One more big inhale here, and then exhale, we'll go ahead, find our mat with our hands, step our left foot back to meet our right, coming into plank or half plank, yogi's choice. Take a moment here to breathe. One more big inhale, and exhale all the way down to the belly. On your next inhale, you can come up into your baby cobra, or maybe you want to grow your cobra and really press into the hands, lift up a little bit higher, coming into full cobra here. Now, if you do opt for a larger cobra, make sure that you don't have any crunchiness in your back. If it doesn't feel good, don't come up as high. Also, make sure you're not collapsing into your shoulders and they're up here by your ears. You want to pull those shoulders back and really shine that heart center forward. One more breath here. And then exhale, we'll lower it back down. Now we're going to go back into downward facing dog. You can either come with me or you can go through all fours like we did a moment ago. If you're coming with me, we're going to tuck our toes under, take a nice big inhale. On the exhale, we're going to push up to plank. Another inhale here. And then exhale, we're going to lift our tail up and back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. When you're ready, look forward at the top of your mat. We're going to make our way back into a forward fold. We're going to take a little break off of our wrists before we go into our next flow. So make your way up to the top of the mat. Once you get there, on your next inhale, we'll come up halfway. Keep a nice flat back here. And then exhale, let it go. Take a moment here to breathe. You can clasp opposite elbows and just rock back and forth if you'd like. Just let everything go. This is kind of our active recovery. From here, if you are holding on to opposite elbows, let that go. Take a nice big inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to roll it all the way up and come into our mountain pose. Take a moment to make any adjustments, get any shakes out, any energy. And then when you're ready, we'll bring it to stillness, breathing. Should feel a nice flush of energy just running through your body. We were just upside down, now we're upright. Make sure you're not passing out. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. All right, from here, keep your right foot where it is. We're going to step our left foot back, but it doesn't have to come super far back. We're going to angle that left foot into a 45-degree angle, so it should be pointing the same direction as the left front corner of your mat. Now this right leg, we are going to bend that into a 90-degree angle. Keep your hips towards that right front foot, that short edge of your mat here. We're coming into a warrior one. So again, you can adjust your stance however you need to. You should be pressing into the knife edge of that left foot. And it's okay if your front foot is not 90 degrees. It's probably the mailman. I'm assuming. Let's not be important. Good job. Good job. All right. So hands can be at the hips. You can have them at center in prayer, or you can reach your arms up to the sky for a full warrior one. Pull that right hip crease back, left hip crease forward. We're going to take a moment here to breathe. We'll go ahead and float the arms down after your next exhale. clasp our hands behind our back, and then go ahead and pull your arms down. Take a nice inhale, look forward, and then on the exhale, we're going to start to drift forward with our torso over that right leg. Now you can stay here halfway, or you can let your head gravitate towards the ground as your hands move up into a humble warrior. So choose your option, only go as low as it feels good to you, and once you're there, we're going to take a moment here just to breathe. One more big inhale. And then as you exhale, go ahead and release the hands. Bring them to the mat. We'll pivot on that left foot. And then step your right foot back to meet the left. Plank again. Take a few breaths. Next exhale, go ahead and lower all the way down to the belly. Inhale, we'll rise up into your version of cobra. Take a few breaths here. Exhale, lower back down, and I'll meet you in downward facing dog. So get there whichever way works for you best. Once you're there, take a moment to breathe. And when you're ready, we have side two. So make sure your palms are planted, really firm down into that right foot. On an inhale, we'll lift our left foot up again. Again, keep your leg in line with your hips, toes dialed down. On your exhale, we'll bend that knee in towards our chest, look forward, and then we'll step our left foot in between our hands. Pivot on that right foot, maybe step it in a little bit. And when you're ready, we're going to again use our torso to rise up and come into our warrior one. Once you make it there, make any adjustments you need to. And then your hands can go wherever it feels great for them. Take a moment here to breathe. On your next exhale, we'll lower our hands down. Go ahead and come into a bind. So bring your hands together. You can place the opposite thumb on top, so the one that feels weird. Inhale to prepare. And then exhale, we'll start to bow forward as we come into our humble warrior. So you may be here, or maybe you want to go a little bit deeper. Choose the option that works best in your body today. And we will breathe. When you are ready, we'll gently release our hands to the mat. We'll pivot on that right foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Plank pose once again. This is actually our last plank. So if you've been doing half plank, maybe try full plank. Take a few breaths. And when you're ready, we'll lower to the belly. Inhale, we'll rise up into cobra. Hold here for a moment, take a few breaths. Feel that nice stretch. Exhale, we'll lower it back down. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Once you're there, take a few moments to breathe. We're going to get off of our hands soon. When you're ready, we'll look back up at our hands. We're going to make our way back up to the top into a nice forward fold. Once you get there, on your next inhale, we'll come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Take a few breaths. Right after your next breath, we'll go ahead and roll it all the way back up to standing. Whew. Take a moment, shake it all out, make any adjustments you need. And then I'm going to come to the long edge of my mat. So if you'd like to come to that long edge of your mat, also feel free to do so. And once you're there, I'm going to make my stance a little bit wide. So we're going to go into a little bit of a different forward fold, a wide-legged forward fold. So it's a little different than what we've been doing. You don't have to bring your legs super wide. You don't need to be doing the splits or anything like that. And once maybe you get your stance, and as you go into it, it doesn't feel good, adjust it so it does. So you might need to shorten that stance, or you may need to make it a little bit wider. It's going to depend on your body. So listen to it as we do this. So I'm going to start here for right now. Take a nice breath in, feel really stable, and then from here, one other point, make sure you're not walking on your knees. All right, let's take an inhale. And then exhale, start to bring your torso forward. Imagine you're looking into like a little pond in front of you. So we'll start to come forward, and maybe you stay here. Or if you'd like to go a little bit further, you can keep on going. Maybe your hands reach the mat. If they don't, grab some blocks or anything you have around you to bring the mat up to you. Or maybe you just stay halfway up. Again, listen to your body. If your hands do make it to the mat, maybe you're on fingertips, maybe your hands actually can touch the mat. If they can, we're going to start to play with walking them back in line with the arches of our feet and bringing our head closer to the mat. If you're not there yet, that's cool too. Again, go as far as it feels good to you. We're going to take a moment here just to breathe in this upside down posture. Nice big inhales and exhales. If you are feeling a little hot or sweaty, this is a cooling pose, so this will actually help to cool you down a little bit, while also stretching out those hamstrings. When you're ready, if your hands are back towards your arches, you're going to start to walk them forward, and then you're going to engage your core once again, and we're going to rise back up the same way we went down. Whew. Once you're here, take a moment to settle. You might get that nice rush of blood from being upside down and now upright. We don't want any dizziness. And then when you feel ready, you can start to heel toe those feet back in line. And from here, we'll take a mountain pose for just a moment before we move on. Just to reground, just to recenter. Let's take one more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. All right, from here, let's take our feet maybe a little bit wider than hip distance. Turn those toes out to the side. And we're going to start to sink our center down. So this is, again, going to be a pose that looks different for everyone. So if this is not good in your body, then just find a way that you can gently get down to the mat. So from here, if you're with me, we're going to start to bend those knees as we sink our center down. So again, some might be here. This might be as far as you go, and that's cool. Otherwise, you can keep going. And it's okay. If your heels are up, that's perfectly fine. They don't have to be on the mat. If they are on the mat, great. If you can always bring your fingertips down. I'm going to scoot back a little bit, like little froggy fingers or spider fingers, whatever you want to call them. Or if you feel pretty good here with your hands on the mat, you can go ahead and bring your hands together into a prayer position, and then take those elbows. You're going to press them against your knees as you lift your torso up. You're gonna feel a nice big stretch here. Really opening up the hips. And if this is not, again, comfortable for you, if this is not gonna work in your body, then just find a different way to get down to the mat. One more big inhale. Exhale, let it go. And then we're all gonna come to sit. So I like to bring one hand behind me and then the other, and then bring myself to a seat. That doesn't work for you, find a different way. That works for you, great. All right, once you're there, we're gonna go ahead and roll down onto our backs. Finally, so we can start to cool it down. Keep your feet on the mat, knees bent. And when you're ready, let's send our right foot straight up to the sky. From here, you can point and flex the foot, maybe do some ankle circles, whatever feels good to you. And we're gonna stretch our leg out a little bit. So you can have your hands behind your thigh, your calf, your ankle, whatever feels good in your body. You can also, if you're not able to reach your leg, if you have a rope or a strap or even like a necktie, you can use that to hold on to your leg too. Even a towel can work. So go ahead and find your option. We're just going to take a moment here to stretch out our legs and breathe. If you're here and you'd like a little bit more, you can stretch that opposite leg out. So for me, it's my left leg. We're just going to breathe here. One more big inhale. And then exhale. If your left leg is extended, go ahead and bend that knee and place the foot back on the mat. We'll release our right leg. Take a moment here just to breathe. Feel both sides. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and lift our left leg up to the sky. Again, you can point and flex that foot, maybe do some ankle circles, whatever feels good to you. And once you feel good here, we'll start to stretch it out. Again, either by holding on behind the thigh, the calf, maybe the ankle, whatever feels good in your body today. Just make sure you're not holding on behind the knee. We don't want to hold on to any joints or press on those joints. If you're good here, you can release that right leg out and away. Take a moment here just to breathe, feel that stretch. And then once you're ready, we'll return the right foot to the mat. Release that left foot down. Take a moment here to breathe. When you're ready, walk those feet up, or your heels up towards your butt, your glutes. Release your hands to the mat. Snuggle those shoulder blades underneath your heart center. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift our tailbone up off the mat and come into a little bit of a bridge pose. Now again, if this pose isn't great in your body, you can use a block and place it underneath your sacrum. So it's just kind of resting right where my hand is underneath here. Or maybe you just don't go up as high. Go to where it feels good to you. And then from here, bring your chest to your chin and then your chin to the sky. That way you have length in your neck. We don't want any injuries. Breathe here. We're going to hold it, strengthening those glutes. One more big inhale. And then exhale, we'll roll it all the way back down. And we're going to move into our final posture, which is Shavasana in Sanskrit, or the corpse pose, as it's known. If you would like to use any props for your Shavasana, then go ahead and grab them and get yourself set up. If you don't have anything, you don't need anything, just yourself. So we'll stretch one leg out far and away. And the other leg out far and away. Go ahead and let your hands just fall open to wherever they want to. Take up space. If this doesn't feel safe in your body, you can just leave your hands on your body too. If it feels safe, you can close down the eyes. If it doesn't, just soften your gaze. And we'll take a moment here to breathe, to thank our bodies for all of that work that they just did. We did a lot of core today, leg strengthening and stretching and all the things. So just thank your body for being able to move, because not everyone is able or is privileged enough to be able to have that opportunity. We'll take just a quiet moment of reflection before we move back into our day. I am going to go quiet for a moment just so you can enjoy your Shavasana, but just know that I'm here, I'm holding space for you, and I will come get you when it is time. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, then stay as long as time allows. If you need to continue on with your day, then slowly start to deepen your breaths. When you feel ready, begin to wiggle fingers and toes, just bringing some life back into them. From there, I invite you to place one foot on the mat and then the other. Keep your knees bent for now. And then whenever you feel ready, go ahead and roll over to your favorite side. Find a little fetal position to come into. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow. And just hang out there for a moment. Take a few breaths as you reintegrate into your surroundings. Finally, whenever you feel ready, I invite you to return to a nice comfortable seat. Please bring your head and neck up last. If your eyes are still closed, you can start to blink them open to the world around you. So I want to thank everyone so much for joining me today for this practice. I hope you found it just energetic and you've got some energy moving and you just feel really strong and good in your body. Like that cow spirit card said, we're taking a moment to improve ourselves, which is great because when we're at our best, then those blessings can come in. Right now I'm blessed with a lot of cat fur. Thank you. So if you are on the TikTok live, thank you so much for joining me for this session live. I will have a replay up on my YouTube channel of this probably early next week, or that's what I strive for. It doesn't always happen. But if you'd like to check that out, the link for that is in my bio. It is 100% free. You can subscribe and it will let you know when I post these new videos out there, so that way you can revisit them, or if you caught the end of it, then maybe you can start at the beginning. It also houses all of the yoga practices that I've ever done. So if you're looking for something a little different, a different length or style, those are all in there. I usually put in the description kind of how the class is. So you can always check me out there. And for those of you on YouTube watching this, thank you so much for joining me. Know that you had people here participating in the live with you, so you're not doing it alone. We also have Chai Cat here. If you enjoyed this practice, please make sure to hit the like button. If you know someone that would benefit from this practice, please share it with them. And if you like this also, and you're not already subscribed, you can hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified as well. I will be back next week. We'll have our first July practice. So I hope to see you then. If you're watching the replay, I try to get on YouTube usually Wednesday afternoons between 4 and 4:30 Central Standard Time. So you can always check out my TikTok. Again, all the links for everything are in my bio. So you should be able to find me pretty easily. Also, if you can't, just let me know in a comment and I can post it somewhere. So I will be back next week. So I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe rest of the week. If you're in some place that it's hot, try and stay cool. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. Stay hydrated. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste. Okay, let's say bye again. Can I say bye? Can I say bye to everyone? Say bye. Say bye. Bye.